Alright, so what you've missed since the last time is we've done the full break-in on this car. We ran it for 15 minutes, changed the oil, and dropped the pan. Then we refilled it, ran it for 100 miles, changed the oil, ran it for 400 more miles, dropped the pan and changed the oil. And it was worth dropping it the second time. It was still gunked up. Then we ran it when it up to 1,000 miles, which is where it's at now. This whole time, no boost, nothing. Just babying it, general highway miles, driving around the town. So today is the first day that we get to finally put our foot down and see if this thing stays together, essentially. I'm very excited. I haven't driven this car in I think about over a year now. I think I'm almost 2 years because it was sitting for a while and it was having issues before that. So I don't know if I've ever felt the car this fresh.
Yeah, definitely not in this condition as far as drivetrain goes. Well, so let's hop in, take it for a drive, see how she does.
This will probably be the last time I drive this car, unless I get asked to, because after this I'm selling this car. We rebuilt it just to sell it, essentially. So this will be the final farewell drive for this car for me. I love the seats.
Nothing like a classic Swedish interior.
Yeah. So car's been warm. We've driven it around a bunch already. It's warmed up for a while. So for now, 202,000 miles when it blew up, by the way. 201 and some couple hundred.
201 and change.
Yeah. It lasted a while, considering I don't think anyone's ever changed timing stuff, anything. So I think first we'll do a normal, I'll drive for a bit and then I'll put my foot down, get the normal boost, and then we'll put it in sport mode and see
the difference.
How much better it gets. Trying not to scrape this car. Oh, that was close. I scraped the back bumper.
I think it was a hitch.
Oh yeah, the hitch is super low on this. All right.
This is probably boost by gear like the Vigan is. It's definitely boost by gear. Ooh. So you won't have full power until third.
Yeah. Now everything should be tighter, it should rev higher. It sounded odd. It didn't feel the same as it usually does, but I'm also not used to forged pistons. Oh, it's the suffering bushings. Suffering bushings are shot on this. That's what I'm feeling.
Again?
Yeah, it's the poly ones that I put in last time. They're just dead.
Wow.
They were rock hard.
Stop. Did you feel that breakup at the end there?
Yeah.
I felt it.
It didn't want to shift.
It almost felt like an engine breakup, like it was misfiring at the high revs.
Yeah, maybe. It would throw a check engine for bad misfires.
Definitely was some kind of hesitation, shifting or drivetrain, unsure.
The transmission on this isn't in the greatest shape.
Yeah, it is a little tired.
I did tow a 2-axle trailer with this tiny sedan.
Cross country,
2,500 miles. Fully loaded with furniture and tools and wheels.
Which is how we overheated it the first time.
Yeah. It was going anyway, but yeah, it was not a great idea. And it's the same transmission. So I think the transmission only has like 100,000 miles on it because I've already swapped it once. This is half throttle. It's already pushing me into my seat.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we boosted in 1,000 miles. It still does need to learn. The ECU needs to get used to.
This is true. It is still tuning.
Look, yeah. The ECU is used to us babying it for the last 1,000 miles. So of course it's going to be like, what is happening all of a sudden?
Yeah.
But it's got power. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, that's like an engine breakup or something.
That doesn't like it. We got to check. Maybe we have like some small vac leak somewhere.
It almost feels like a boost cut. or fuel, like the boost or fuel cut, because it's right at the top of the red line. I might have my scanner in the Veloster, and I could read boost pressure off of it.
Yeah, I think what it is the ECU is not used to it, so it might be over boosting.
Let me grab the scanner real quick.
Temperature's solid. Is it recording? Yeah. Hello. Hello. It's not focused at all. There we go.
You've peaked at about 5 pounds so far.
Could be the wastegate's damaged also, or old, and the spring's just worn out.
I wouldn't cause a breakup or a hiccup like that though. There is a connector on the throttle body that is slightly broken. So
It's fully broken.
it's fully broken. So the pins still slide on the connector, but it's not physically clipped in with anything.
You can buy just that part instead of the whole
pigtail,
throttle body,
yeah.
All right, so we had some issues with the power. It wasn't what we were expecting. And we had some issues with vibrations up in the high RPMs. So we took a look, and we found a whole slew of problems that thankfully weren't related to the engine. So we found a bunch of leaks. We had a power steering leak, we have a coolant leak, we have a transmission seal leak because we forgot to replace those, and our oil pump O-ring, I think, is leaking. All fairly easy to replace, but none of those would be the problem for the actual power. And then I noticed that the limp mode solenoid was broken. The connector wasn't connecting to it properly, so we replaced that, and we also got a forged diverter valve in the middle of that process. Nice forged. That's working, because that could have caused our boost problem. Replace it just in case. And turns out the limp mode solenoid, once I replaced it and cleared the code and set it properly, it's now making decent power. And we've been waiting to film the final bit of the video, and of course we're getting some sort of issue. I think it's the ABS module is failing, it's throwing a bunch of lights off. It's intermittent, so we're gonna try and film what a car should feel like, but that is also another issue we have to fix. So everything outside of the engine is now failing, but the engine's still solid and it sounds great.
Yep, so that being said, now that we finally have a properly boosting car, I think we should go for one proper drive.
Let's see how it drives. That noise will never not sound weird to me. Cold forged pistons.
A little bit of a rattle.
Yeah. Also, the heat shield is now rattling fully, so we might just pull it off.
That's what I did.
Because we put the bigger studs, which the heat shield clamps onto, and it's just not sticking onto it.
Yeah, just take it off, it'll be fine.
Yeah, we're not pushing crazy power anyway, it's not gonna heat up. We also have an oil pump O-ring, we have the transmission axle seal, and we have the coolant heater bypass valve, which is leaking. So we have everything, we just gotta do the work. We had a whole slew of transmission issues, those seem to have gone away.
Just needed a reprogram, right?
Yeah, they just reset it. And there was too much fluid in it. We actually ended up draining fluid from it.
How much?
Like half a quart. And that half a quart made the world of difference.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Still cutting a little bit. Yeah, it's not built to boost. Not cutting.
There we go. Yeah, that feels about right.
There's 4 people in the car?
Yeah. It was definitely adding boost the longer you went through the pull. I think it's still like learning a little bit.
It didn't even get close to the red.
Yeah, I mean I could feel it like adding boost in the pull, but it's smooth.
Yep, the boost climbed.
You can feel it when it gets
kicked in.
when it's getting higher in the revs. You can feel ooh,
Yeah.
pulling harder and harder.
And it hit the red there that time.
It's probably just learning to the weather too. We haven't really driven it.
Yeah, it's colder also. It's been warm recently. It drives super nice though. It's super smooth. Everything's working, shifting great. Engine's solid. So I did realize something. The reason why we're getting slight vibrations at around 6,000 RPM is because we put new pistons in it, but the same crank rods and everything, and we did not have the crank rebalanced.
Yeah, we didn't balance the bottom end.
Yeah, we didn't balance anything, so that is something you have to do every time. Anytime you put new components into your drivetrain, you got to rebalance the bottom end, because they need to make sure that all the pistons are the same weight and that the pistons, rings, a little bit of oil, and rods are balanced to the crank is balanced to them.
It'll be fine.
We're not throwing a ton of power at this thing, so it's fine. It's not like it's gonna cause any issues. It's just,
I don't think this thing's ever gonna see a tune.
we are thinking of like a stage 1 maybe, but that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. It's an automatic. We can't really put too much power into it.
Smooth and consistent though.
Engine is it feels like a new engine.
Yeah, I'd hope so. But yeah, I mean, overall, besides some other little touch-up things to do on this car, I think that's pretty much the end of this series. We have clearly successfully rebuilt the engine on this car, and it's running strong. You just gotta, like I said, clean up a few of those things, and then it's pretty much 100%.
And it's officially handed off to my roommate Sterling. It's his car, no longer mine.
That's right.
I've said goodbye to it, so any more issues, he's fixing them.
Yep. And there's already 5,000 miles on this motor too.
More than that.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this nice little series to start off this channel here. Definitely a lot more stuff to come, like with the Veloster in the back of the shop there.
I'm not used to
Bottoming out the bumper there. And the tow hitch.
tow hitch is so low.
And of course, some other projects coming down the road as well. So make sure you subscribe, hit that like button. We will see you on the next one.
So, almost 9 months ago, started from this blown up piece of metal, and we ended with a perfectly running Saab 9.5 with the original block and just a general rebuild and new piston heads. Somehow, this engine survived a complete and total obliteration of a piston. Thank you for watching. This series has taken us almost a year to complete. Hopefully the next one won't take as long. So if you liked the video, like and subscribe for our upcoming projects. We have lots of projects planned. We have my classic Corvette that's under there. We have another Saab we want to do. We have that old Volvo that eventually we want to build. We have some newer cars we want to deal with, maybe like the Veloster, something like that. So subscribe if you want to follow all that, and see you next time.